Hello everyone, Skippy here, and we're gonna do another episode of this. Sorry I haven't uploaded this, or uploaded anything in the past few days. I don't think I've uploaded it in the past few days. Like, my memory's shot. But I worked on this a bit yesterday, and I got enough to make a new episode. Um, so what we're gonna do today, I do believe I keep promising inputs and some file loading. Um, and what we are going to do today is we're going to finish up what we were doing last episode, actually. We're going to finish up drawing the basics of drawing our map. And what we're going to get is actual working compile code, working exe that will actually display our map technically, even though it's going to be an empty map. And it's also going to display our tile list on top of that. So it's going to be a technically working, but it's not going to have any kind of inputs. It's not going to have, most of the guts going to be removed, not being going to be there yet. But the framework's there, the basics there, and this might be a bit of a long episode. Sort of, we'll have to go around trying to remember what I did and what we were at. But we got my what we have over here, and I really should have probably just done this all in one go instead of doing it last night and then work on it the rest tonight. Because now I have to compare what we have and what we don't have. But I do believe that I started with the state. And what we're going to be getting to, and I'll show you right here. Oh, that was unexpected. I'll ignore. That was very unexpected. Okay. Well, you basically saw what we had, and this is just some debugging stuff. Regardless, that might have been a memory leak I have somewhere in there. I really don't know. Okay. Sorry, let me get my bearings real quick. Okay, I got my bearings again. Basically, we had everything that was there for our classes, but we need to draw them now. And how we're going to do that is through this draw function. Let's take a look at what I have right here. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. What I have here, basically going to be adding what's this right here, and I won't copy paste or anything, but I'll do it from within here. Now, this is a pretty bad way of drawing, since what we're going to be basically doing is a lazy way. We're basically going to be drawing the entire map. This is bad because it means that for every tick, every frame, we're going to be drawing needless stuff. In our actual game, we'll fix this. But for the basic drawing of it, I'm not going to rework my code or anything. X width, X plus 4 int y equals 0. Y is less than height, y plus plus. And these are showing up. What do we have over here? What do we even have in here? We have width and height, so y. That's weird. I keep forgetting. I ran into this last time. Okay, we forgot to do something here. We forgot to add the map namespace. Let's do that here too. And let's also add on the end here, const. And this is important because if you try to use const, it means you can't edit, change any variables within your object. Within this, we can only read, we can't write. And so basically, we're just gonna do target.draw, and we're gonna read from our, I believe, tile list inside here. It has a public sprite list. So we're gonna read from inside there. We have our tiles. Do yet another. And that's gonna be a little trick here. You're gonna want to type x plus and parentheses y times width. And this is not what we're actually looking for, it's dot. And so you're going to want that. Let's go take a look, make sure it's, what it was. Oh, I forgot this line of code. I want to add and make sure that if our tile itself is greater than or equal to 0, then we draw it. And what this allows us to do is when we have our tiles, if it's a negative number, we'll skip over it. And this allows us to have blank tiles. And for that purpose, up here, we are going to navigate through this when we create it. Alright, let's listen width times height. Alright, plus. Actually, tiles I equals -1. We want to initialize everything just -1. And we're going to use a clear function actually later on that does the exact same thing. Just sets this is like sort of like a eraser that just sets to -1. And let's ensure everything's correct and everything looks pretty good. Ignore these things; they're just debugging code. You can put them in if you want at relevant places. Just make sure for each one you just include IOStream for that purpose. So let's save that. Make sure this, I didn't add anything. I have an edit tile initialized here. And we should actually add that in. Yeah. Sorry I seem so scatterbrained today. I'm just spacing out on everything I did. Funny because I wrote this code and now I can't remember what I did in the code. That is why you don't write code one day and expect to remember what you did the next. But anyways, we don't need to have that open down. So down here, let's just do it right below this load file. Void map, edit tile. We can do int x, int y, int D. D is for data. And then oh, did I do something I shouldn't have done here? Oh nope, I did not. Okay, I was thinking if I checked in that edit that it was a negative number, which I shouldn't be doing because we sometimes want that, but I didn't. What I did do, however, we need to check if these x and y coordinates are within our actual boundaries. And I suppose what I could actually do is a little shortcut. We're gonna, well, yep. All we need to do is say if x, I'm actually in parentheses here, parentheses. We're gonna make two checks. X plus y times width is greater than or equal to 0, or I think you guys might know what I'm getting at here. X plus y times width is less than width times height. And if that's the case, and I'll explain what all this is here in a moment, tiles x plus y, y times width equals d. And you missing something? Suppose we were. Okay, now let's explain what all this does. What I did over here was I basically just did a check for if we were within boundaries. And what I did over here was I didn't bother working with boundaries, because what we're doing is we're putting data right into an array. The only thing we need to check is if we're within the bounds of the array. And so I could probably actually shorten this. And actually that might be a better idea, since I don't want to recompute everything. Even though an optimized compiler might detect that, I don't want to be doing that. So I'll make a temporary int chords equals copy. So actually, yeah, replace all this where it says x plus y times width, replace that with chords. Okay, it's basically we're just checking if our coordinates fall within this entire thing. And actually, that works too. And you can do either way, depending upon if you're comfortable doing this or that other way. Both work. It's fine. We just basically need to check if we're going within the array scope. Okay. And that should be everything for the map class. Now, what we also want to do is we want to make our tile list drawable. So we're just going to go ahead and just copy this declaration. We want to go to our tile list class, and we can exit out of our map classes now. Add as a private. We want to add that. We want to have it inherit from SF Drawable. And then we also want to add a few variables here. We actually want top to create a new integer top tile. And let's go to check, make sure that's the one. Yep. And top tile, basically, what we're gonna do when we draw our tile list is it's gonna just be a line of tiles, of active tiles that we can choose from in a list along the side of our screen, and we can page through these if we have too many to actually list out. So we need to keep track of what the top one's gonna be. And so what we want to do is also create a two functions. Page next, page prev. Alright. I'm going to pause this again real quick. Alright, note to self. Don't go coding on an empty stomach. Okay, I got my bearings a bit. So we're going to use top tile for the top of our little, when we draw. So let's go ahead and open up our implementation file. And let's get some of these functions implemented. And don't forget always the namespace thing. And that makes sure, yep, that works. Void tile list. Oh, I keep forgetting that. Just tell me how long it is. Okay, depending on how long this goes, I might split this into 2 parts. Maybe. Anyways. Out of soda. Next page. Void tile list. Prev page. Okay. Now before we do anything, we want to initialize our top tile. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through our entire sprite list, and we're going to set our sprites at certain points. And this way, well, when we draw, we can't do it inside our draw functions because we can't change anything about our object inside our draw function. So we have to do it every time. Sorry, every time we change, we do we construct it. We need to set it right off the bat, and then either on these next page and pre-page implementations, we're gonna do. Sorry, we're going to change it and update positions. And that's important because, you know, we need to have them correct positions. So, for int I equals 0, and let me just go back here real quick just to make sure, because this is basically what we're going to be doing right here. So, actually we're going to set the top tile. I is less than top tile plus 10, because we're going to show a list of 10 tiles in our thing. It's maybe a bit of overkill, but it'll work. And then I believe I do a check here. We need to check if we don't go beyond the bounds of our vector while we're doing this. So if I is less than slist dot size minus 10, that's important, minus 10, or no, we actually don't want that, that's later. Then we're going to take that slist I dot set position. It's going to be on 0, and then is I times 64. We're just going to make a hard-coded size of 64. What you can do as a project on your own is make it so you put in what size of image, custom image, and then work with that. Of course, with a little bit of fiddling maybe, but it's pretty simple, I think. And then that should be that. Let's make sure. Yeah, yep, that's exactly what we have. All right. Now, what we do for each of these just copy it into there, and then pre-page minus equals 0, 10. It's going to be plus equals 10. And we're going to have a bit of a check here. We need to make sure we're not going to be adding on too much. So we need to do a if top tile less than slist size minus 10, then we do that. Oh, here's a little shortcut you guys can do if for tabbing too. At least I know you can do this in Visual Studio and in Color Blocks. You highlight and then press tab, and got something there. And we're going to do something similar here, except we just want to make sure that top tile is greater than or equal to 10. If top tile is greater than or equal to 10, then we'll do all that. Else, there's nothing much to do. And let's go back. Make sure it's everything. Yep, and everything looks just peachy. At least as far as this goes. Now we can actually get to our drawing. Now, drawing on this is pretty simple. We basically just do this code right here, and then we don't actually set position. Instead, we actually just we pretty much just draw it. So target that draw whatever sprite's on there, and you can see as it is right here. Oh no, not there. Right here. It's a very, very simple thing. We basically just go down the list like that, and let me just check up on this real quick. I actually don't need this right here, but or this right here, but whatever. Okay. And that's everything for our tile list. Now, we have everything we're going to be drawing to the screen. We have the drawing implemented. Now we need to actually have our state. Our state is actually going to be the one drawing it, and we need to add it to be able to do that. And so, first thing, let's go ahead and close these now. Don't need them up here. Let's go and open up our editor. Actually, I can go ahead and close some of these down. Close down the two maps, two tile lists on here. And we'll open up the editor stuff up here. And state and head. Because these are the next two things we need to edit. Now, if you recall to the beginning of these episodes, I said that state was going to be basically like a Java strategy. We're going to violate that. Or actually, no, scratch that. We are actually not going to violate that. Let me check right here. No, we are not. Because I forgot. I tried that. It didn't work. But what we need to do is, in order for state, because state itself is going to be handling our drawing, what it needs to do is it needs to speak to editor. It needs to access editor to do all the drawing stuff in it, because it needs to be drawing the objects inside editor. To do that, all our functions are just going to have an editor object add to them, and go ahead and include editor.h. And go ahead and change this right here. We're going to change this to editor. This to editor. And notice I'm just giving a pointer. We want to pass a physical, a pointer to the one singular editor out there. And we're basically going to be just taking that and using everything from it. Go into here. Oh, wrong thing. I forgot. I just want to copy this type of thing right here. Copy that. Copy paste is just a wonderful thing, isn't it? Okay. All that. Call it ed. And all this is just going to be a pointer to two things we have in there. Oh, something. Now we have that. go ahead and come into here and just change this right here to this. We just want to pass this or tis into there. And that's all we need to do on change on from editor. Edit the implementation file so far. We do need to do one more thing. And this is very important. Okay? We need to do several things actually. First thing is we're going to forward declare. Well, I don't even know if we need to do that. It fixed my problem before, but forward declaration of the two states worked. Or maybe I'll do that here, but anyways. Before all of that, we'll see if we can do it without it. We want to say our states are friends. And we'll do this for every state we have. So every single state class we have, we're going to say that it is a friend of our editor. And what that does is allow us to take this editor class in here, and we can access all the members of the editor class from our state object. And this allows us to get into all of this without actually making it public. So only state can get into here alongside editor. No one else will get inside here and get all this stuff. And it really, really makes things easy. Let me just check something over here. Now what I did over here in order to get it to work is I had to forward declare state and editor state. And I just took that out. We're going to go ahead and do that. So we don't actually need to have state included in here. So we'll forward declare both those. And then we'll include state.h. Oh, you wouldn't believe how many times I do that. Now there's some other things we need to add. Before we actually get to our drawing, we need to create a view. We're actually going to create two. One's going to be called UI, other's going to be called content. And we need two views because we only want our UI to be static. We don't want it to move inside our actual window. And in order to do that, we basically set one view to never change. And so every time we update the our render window to use that view, it'll be static. We will be just drawing to the same places on the screen. The content view will be moving within like sort of the kind of like the plane behind it. Think of a render window as literally just a window to a layer, an infinite layer of pixels. There's going to be pixels extending off what you can see, and our view moves our sort of window across that plane. So if we have one that's moving, it allows us to see what else is in our map beyond what we could see. And then if we have one for UI, we can snap back to a global one that we use just for drawing UI elements. That's going to be at the center of that entire plane. Make it really easy and really nice to do it. So we need to create these views up here. And we're going to do that right here. And we're going to use something called get default view in the app class. And we're going to do this for both UI and content. And if you want to just be sure that you're not going to be using the same, you can actually also do that as well. I gotta do that here just to be sure. Now we have our views in here. We want to go back to our state and actually in our draw we'll do ed app set view. Oh, and we want to set our view first to content. And the rule of thumb is you want to or ed, you want to draw the furthest layer, because everything else we're drawing is going to be overriding that. So if we want the view to be for the furthest layer first. Alright. And then ed app draw ed map. And notice how we're just taking everything from ed and we're using just stuff from ed, because all this is really doing is telling the editor basically how it's using its objects. It's basically just it goes in and does everything, and we don't have to do it inside the editor class. We can do everything inside other classes. And we're going to take advantage of this when we make our game. Our states are actually going to have internal states that really define exactly how everything's going to be playing out. And they're going to probably be a bit pervasive in how they do things. They might actually be very tightly coupled in with our game, at least from one way. Our state class is designed to be coupled tightly with other classes, as it is with our editor. So now that that's drawn, we want to set the view to the UI. And we just want to draw tile map or t-list. Yep. And let's go back into here, make sure this. Yep, it looks like everything. That is all correct as far as I'm concerned. And I don't think I had anything else. Ignore this right here for now. We're gonna actually implement that. We don't need to implement that. Actually, I don't know why I implemented it. And we will see if this actually works. I know there's one last thing we need to do in the draw function. We need to actually have our actually calls draw function, and we need to pass this into there in order for that to work. And so let's actually see if that works. I will be kind of surprised if it does, but I have a feeling that I am missing something. So build source RPG editor. And I'm just building this project, nothing else really. I'm not building master. Piling. Generating. Fingers crossed. Oh, it did it. Now, before you actually run anything, there's something you need to know. Create a inside the debug folder. It made a compile or executable in. Create a folder called data, image, map, and then do grass and pavement. I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording. Okay. And this needs to be grass PNG, pavement to PNG. I just did basic things right here. And just make sure those are there, else it won't update. It won't run properly. And here's the executable. Let's run it. Okay, we get this. I really don't know what this is. Oh, something about vector. Okay. Something's out of range, and we can try to find out what that is. I don't know. Let's debug that. I don't know where that stems from. Okay, no, continue. Ignore. Okay. Let's close this and end this debugging. I don't know what happened, but we will use we'll start debugging. Where are we in here to cause that? Something that when we called vectors, it might be in our tile list. That's all I can really think of where we actually are using vectors. Or it could be in right here when we use this. One of the two. For now, though, we did get to the point where we needed to get to. So it does technically kind of work, but we are having a problem. I'll work on it, but I feel this video has gone on kind of long. I did get to the point I wanted to get to, though. That's a good thing. And we actually are, it is drawing to the screen. I know, let me just take a look into here. It might actually be in our map file as we're drawing. Might be this right here. I'll take a look at it. Since, you know what? When we draw, we don't check some. Oh no, we do. We check this right here. Okay. Well, I'll take a look at it. I'll let you guys know what it is next video, because that's gonna be the next project to figure out what that is. Next video, we'll be continuing this, and we'll actually, I can promise you this because it's the only logical step, is editing. You know, actually editing the map. And then after that, the only logical step I can really see is the file loading. And once we get the file loading done, we'll be done with this tile mapper. We'll be ready to actually design our game, because I'll get pretty much all the introduction stuff out of the way, basically. And what I'll actually be doing there is actually sitting down and going through the design process. So it'll probably be a good many episodes of just designing, which is going to be a learning experience for me as well, because I kind of don't know too much about UML diagrams, but I will be learning throughout it as I design this game with you guys. If you guys want give any suggestions to when we get there, feel free to. Also, tell me if you guys are sort of liking the longer episodes or the shorter episodes. I can't guarantee what length episodes will be. Judging from what I've seen other tutorials, people like to like the longer ones rather than the shorter ones. I don't know. Either way, if you like this, please, like I said, tell me. If there's something I need to improve on, definitely tell me. Let me know in the comment section. That's where I really discuss my videos, not really through views or through likes or anything like that. Just if you like it, comment, because that gives me feedback and knows that it lets me know what you guys are thinking. So with that, this is Skippy signing out, and I'll be seeing you next episode. See you then.